They beat the Islanders. They beat the New York Islanders, playing the one. Well, they just went 9-2. Over the Islanders. I don't I'm gonna be very honest with you, and I really, uh, I really hate this because it's just uncharacteristic for me. Because even in that season where they were bad in 2021, I was dialed in for every second of every game that season. I was not I lost focus on this game, to be honest with you. That was like the most boring the most boring game I've ever seen in my life, and my team was winning 9-2, and it was really that boring because it felt like I was watching a preseason game. That's really what it felt like. I was on my phone most of the game, eating dinner at one point. It is what it is. Like, I really did not pay attention to this game. I saw Brett Berard do well. I saw Will Borgen get walked a couple times. Saw a couple turnovers from Keandre Miller. Saw Will Borgen caught high a couple times. Watched Aaron score one of the weirdest goals I've seen in my life. Whatever. Whatever. I'm just kind of like the Rangers at this point. I'm just here for participation. So there's that. Thank you for the $2 Nationals Masterclass. Good job by getting the trade value up, boys. That's really about all they got going for them because they beat an ECHL goalie. Yes. Yes. So happy. Now they'll lose the next three. Probably. I'm just more annoyed about this because they're delaying the inevitable. Just just be done with it. Like, just be done here. Now they gotta wait. Montreal, go get your point tomorrow. Go get 2 points, whatever it is. Do whatever tomorrow and just bury this because I was very annoyed when I saw the lineup going into this game and both Gabe Perreault and Brett Berard were not in the lineup. So that didn't make me happy. Yusuf Parson ended up scoring. Good for him. But I was very annoyed when I saw both of them were scratched from the lineup. And yeah, they're probably never seeing the ice again either after tonight. Probably not. Yeah, we're bad, but the Islanders are I don't know how they are worse than us, but there it is. I could tell you right now that like 12-year-old me would be on cloud nine having bragging rights about them sweeping the season series. Now I just like don't give a flying fuck. Um yeah. I mean that was the highlight of the night. Berard scoring 2 goals was that was really the highlight of the night. Yeah, went against an AHL and ECHL team. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. A mid off. I like I said, it felt like a preseason game. It's exactly what it felt like. The most who cares when tonight. I'm glad I wasn't the only one feeling like that. No one no one gives a shit tonight. No one cares. No one cares at all. It's more just again trying to crawl to the finish line here. It really is just such a drag. I am thankful that there are 3 more games left. Tonight felt like it took an eternity. At least yesterday felt quick. I don't know if it was me being there or what, but at least last night actually felt like a quick game. Tonight felt like it took forever. Rangers are a shameful club. Yeah. What am I doing Saturday? Rangers at 3, Mets at 4. Mets at 4. Not even a debate. Not even a debate. I'm watching the Mets. I do not care. I do not care one bit. I will still come on, do a post-game stream, talk about watching the first period, if that even, and that's about it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and I don't know. I fair enough. I did it exactly, what's it called? I did it a couple of weeks ago and or this week actually when they played Tampa Bay. Yeah, I did it this week when the Mets were on at the same time. I just watched the Mets. I really do not care about watching the Rangers right now. Don't at all. I just like I said, I'm on these streams strictly to finish out the season at this rate. Yeah, that's really about it. What coach would I like to see the Rangers get? I do not care, truthfully. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying this to sound like an asshole. I just don't care because I'm pretty sure he's gonna pick the next coach. So I really don't give a shit who the next coach is. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Pretty much. I don't know who Chuck Knobloch is. I know who Chris Knobloch is. Firing jury is all I care about. I got bad news to tell you, John. Got some pretty bad news. Unless we get caught off guard like we did with JD and Gordon getting fired, hate to tell you, but based on the report today, it's not looking good because I think it was Darren Drager that said that no, LeBron. LeBron said that he thinks Drury is staying because there's loyalty from the owner. Nice. The thing that was really funny, I saw a reply from at Kurt 1124 to Colin Stevenson tweeting about Tommy DeVito being in the building. And he said Tommy DeVito in the house and the Rangers winning a meaningless game after being eliminated from playoff contention. I found that funny. Yeah, no, Chuck Knobloch was an MLB player. I was just, I know, but I found that pretty funny. This will be Drury's fifth coach now, fourth, fourth coach, but might as well be his fifth. Loyalty could suck my dick. This is why we have one cup in 85 years. You're not going to catch me disagreeing. You're not going to catch me disagreeing at all. Yeah, he gave a better gift than his own organization did because the Rangers just gave him a signed jersey by this roster and what's the other thing? Yeah, that microphone trophy. Yeah, I know you meant Chris Knobloch. They would not be doing this under Chris Knobloch either. They wouldn't be doing good under Chris Knobloch either. Maybe things would be slightly better. It's again, this is beyond just coaching, and Laviolette deserves blame. I'm not happy with him. I want to make that clear, but this goes so beyond coaching to where, I can't sit here and be like, "Well, they should have had Knobloch." Rangers gonna hang a banner in the Islanders, probably. Everyone gets a new contract tomorrow, and you get a no move clause, and you get a no trade clause, and you get a no move clause. Yeah, they'll probably hire Torts. Yep. Prisoners run the asylum. Yeah. Although I just again, I don't understand how Trey's gonna stay. I just don't. He has to have some sort of dirt on Dolan. I forgot who tweeted, but someone tweeted earlier that he took Dolan for a ride as a player, and now he's doing it as a GM. Everything comes full circle, doesn't it? Yeah, I hope Montreal doesn't drag it on either. The core is the problem. Yeah. There was part of me that was hoping they would get eliminated tonight, so I could just or I shouldn't say there's part of me. I'm gonna be blunt with it. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I just want them to get eliminated tonight for this thing to be done, and so I could just come on here and finally let it all off my chest and just rip them a new asshole. I'm not gonna do it tonight. I made a promise to myself. I will wait for them to be officially eliminated, and I will stick to that. I wish it could have been tonight, though. The other thing that sucks about this is now Berard and Othman, they are not going to play on Saturday. So what's the point of watching? What is actually the point of watching when those two are not going to be playing? No, I can't wait to see that. I'm sure everyone's waiting for it. And I'm telling you, I'm once it's over, I'm going to be just laying it in on this team. What I say by accent? I say I don't even know what I said. I'm half paying attention here, to be honest with you. Um, but yes, Gabe and Othman. Like I said, I don't even know what I said. I'm just here to be here. Berard and Othman, my apologies. Yes, Othman and Perot, yes, they won't play the next game because we got to put the veterans in because we got to pretend that we can make the playoffs still. Extreme for mature audiences only. Pretty much, yeah. The only thing is that like if I don't watch on Saturday, am I gonna really go all in on them? I don't know. I mean, already know the first 2 words that are gonna come out of my mouth when I start the stream once they get eliminated, or maybe the first 3. I think you guys could piece together the first 2, though. No, I'm not gonna be screaming when, I do my rant. Maybe I'll raise my voice a little bit, but I'm not gonna scream my head off just because that was that was, like, December stuff, like, I already got all of the aggravation and anger out in December to where it's I'm at a point where I'm just calm, like, I'm really just calm about it. Thank God I mean, that could be said, but that's not exactly what I'm gonna say. It's a message to the, team altogether, my first, few words. I'll have that as my, for the opening. There's your hint there. I'm sure you could piece it together now. Can't wait until the off season when all those guys are gone. Like I said, even if they are gone, um, what does it matter when Chris Drury's here? Legit, what does it matter? Dead on. You nailed it there. Yeah, pretty much. I'm just like numb to it at this point. If you guys want to hear me yelling and screaming about this team, go December and January, and I'm sure that you could find streams. Just look for the thumbnails where it's the dog, where it's a dog taking a shit in the thumbnail. I'm sure you'll find it. You could just sort my streams to the most popular. Yeah, just looking at this, the Devils one, the Kings one. Just go there if you want to hear me lose my mind. Words are had a great chuckle. Yeah, but joke's on you. If Ortmeyer was still here, that's clear evidence that Drury and ownership have no idea what's going on here. I mean, yeah, that's part of it, but there's there's a lot of other things too that tell me they have no idea what the fuck is wrong here. Which that when December the first or second, I have no clue. I mean, I'm sure both of them I was pretty pissed in, but like I said, which has the dog taking a crap with the Rangers logo, then that's the one you're looking for. Thank you for the $2, Jay Lewis. What was the point of scratching Othman and Perot? Because they gotta get the veterans in. Gotta get the veterans in because we gotta make the playoffs. The playoffs. That's why. Yeah, I saw that. He sent that in my sent that to me in a text before he tweeted that. Yeah, they scratched Othman and Gabe because they're the New York Rangers. Yeah, well, I'm sorry to and I like Brian Boyle, but that take's not it. That take is absolutely not it at all. The Washington Capitals are a President's Trophy win, President's Trophy contending team, potentially winning team. They are a playoff level team. I don't know how far they go in the playoffs, but they are a playoff level team, giving Ryan Leonard an opportunity to play in the top six. There is no reason why the Rangers should not be letting Gabe get in the top six when the season is a lost cause. But the problem is this fucking stupid team thinks for whatever reason they can make the playoffs still, despite Montreal being as far ahead as they are with a game in hand now. And on top of that, it's just because Dole, heaven forbid, not get his playoff revenue. But no, apparently they have a better chance of winning with. Oh no, Yusuf Parsons scored. I gotta shut up before I get myself into trouble here. He scored a wraparound goal that had no business of going in. I apologize. We gotta play all of these veterans, a checked out Chris Kreider, the stat padding king. We gotta play all of those guys instead of actually giving the younger players a chance. Because no, we gotta get the playoff revenue for Dolan. That won't happen. Yeah, and this is the thing that fucking drives me insane. And I tweeted about it earlier. I told myself I wouldn't rant tonight. Here I am. This is what drives me insane. And this is why last year at the deadline, when I had people in the comments telling me I was overreacting and telling me that no, they can't trade Gabe, no, they can't trade Othman. This is why they don't develop prospects. These guys just sit and rot. If they can't crack this lineup, then what the fuck are we doing here? Why are they here? Why didn't you push the chips in to get a cup last year? So these guys could develop into bottom six checking forwards? Yeah, real fucking smart. And in the process, burning a year of Perot's ELC. It's just stupid. Believe it or not, no, that was not going all in. Believe it or not. Nope. Yes, this is also it. We had to preserve the dynasty. Yes, we have to protect the dynasty that does not exist. The dynasty, one cup in the past 85 years. We have to protect that dynasty. How could we ever trade prospects when we have to protect such a sacred dynasty? We're competing with the Islanders dynasty right now. How could we ever suggest trading prospects that we're never going to develop? How could I ever think of something so stupid here? Silly me. Yeah, I mean, this is really what it comes down to. This team couldn't make a smoothie properly, let alone develop a prospect. They can't do fucking anything right. They don't know their mouth from their asshole. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Yeah, no, the Eastern Conference Finals dynasty, the regular season champion dynasty. Just stupid. Just so stupid. After they scratched Gabe and Othman, I didn't care if they won 9-2. Exactly. Why is anyone going to watch these games when at least you could turn on and watch their prospects play? Now, why the fuck is anyone watching these games? Outside the idiot that I am because I do this. The playoff dynasty. Can't brush their teeth properly. Nope, can't do anything right. If they didn't know how to develop goalies, they would have been relocated to Shanghai. I don't think Shanghai would take this team. I don't. Yep, when you say Chris Kreider, look up everyone. That's where it's going. Because this team is fucking stupid. And you know what the sad part is, right? Because when it happened last night, I chalked it up to maybe Laviolette just doing it to get fired. Chris Drury could step in though. So Chris Drury signed Gabe Perreault to his ELC. Didn't want to trade either of these two guys last year at the deadline to go all in, and is sitting them. Sure. Sure thing. This goes beyond Laviolette though, because why is Chris Drury not stepped in? And if like, why not fire Laviolette now? If Chris Drury had a problem with this, he could fire Laviolette now, is what I'm trying to say. Clearly, Chris Drury's okay with this. So why why not just fire Laviolette now if Chris Drury has a problem with this? This goes beyond just Laviolette. This is Chris Drury too. And yeah, this is the thing. He clearly supports this. And I told myself I wouldn't get that mad. Here I am. because you're just so stupid with this team. It's just so fucking dumb. I don't understand. I really don't understand how they're this dumb. If the Chris Paul 3 was a game, it would be this one, yes. How is it going to be with Torts next year? I said this on Twitter, and I'm going to repeat my thoughts of what there are one of two ways this is going to go. All right? One of two ways. The first way, and this is the way I think it's gonna go because this is just the pattern at this point with this group and everything. They're going to play good the first month or 2 under the new coach. They're going to quit on the coach. They might pull a miracle out of their ass to make a solid run in the playoffs. Everyone buys back in, and then next year, the sink ships just like it did with Laviolette, just like it did with Gallant. Or what's gonna happen is they're just gonna outright be dog shit next year and be in the McKenna sweepstakes, and then they'll get him, and Tortorella's just gonna fuck him up. Laugh saying they're still in this. Cute. Drury's still mad at his bio and ruining the team. Thank you for the $2, Jay Lewis. I'm convinced that's what it is at this point. Like, there's no way you could be this stupid. And I know, yeah. I mean, with the chances they gave up tonight, yeah, the score would have been the other way if it was a good team. I know. You don't have to tell me, man. I know, but just, again, this shit is just stupid. Yep, and then we'll fuck both of them up. We'll fuck them both up by putting them on the fourth line. Do they go with the retread or take a gamble on a fresh face? They have tried both in recent years with the same result. What um, gives and what do you think? I want them to go with new blood, and I've stood by this. The only retreads that I'm okay with are Mike Sullivan, and if but this is not going to happen. I want to preface that it's not going to happen. But in a world that John Cooper does not sign an extension and is a free agent next offseason, those are the only 2 retreads I would want. But that's probably not going to happen. The Sullivan one is at least somewhat realistic. Those are the only 2 retreads I would be fine with. But truthfully, again, it does not matter. It does not matter if this group is still here. I mean, Woodcroft, again, like, sure, but it's just like, what good is it gonna do? We're not doing this, man. We're not doing this. No, man, we're not doing that. The problem with this is Detroit tried going this route, and it did not work at all. That's the problem with that one. I get why you're saying it, but a lot of times the assistant coaches are not as good as the actual coach. I mean, we saw it with Trotz too when he left Washington and they promoted what's the name, Reardon, or whatever, to the head coach. He was terrible there. When he left the Islanders and Lane Lambert was the coach, terrible. I would be okay with Leach. I would be okay with um what's his name with forgetting the name of the guy, the Texas Stars head coach is the guy that Neil Graham. That's another guy I would like. I again, I'm not gonna argue with the people that want Messier because I'm beating a dead horse here. I've said this time and time again. He has no experience in any capacity with management or coaching. This has to stop. The only reason I would want them to hire Messier at this point is so when it doesn't work out and they fire him, we don't have to talk about every time the Rangers make a coaching or GM change. I don't have to hear Messier's name again. That's literally the only reason I would want Messier at this point. Exactly. He would just be a yes man. And yeah, like again, that's the thing. If he wants to get into management or coaching, fine, but you can't throw him to the wolves here and just have him be the Rangers GM or the Rangers coach off the rip without any sort of experience to build up. He hasn't coached at any other level or at any level for that matter. He hasn't done anything to build up a resume. Messier would give Rempe top 6 minutes, probably. I don't know if anyone from Hartford's ready. That's the problem there. At least with Knobloch, there was a case, but I don't know if there's anyone in Hartford ready right now as a head coach. Thank you. So literally all that needs to be said. Thank you. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. He shouldn't be the coach. He shouldn't be the GM. And he sure as hell should not be the president. None of the above. If he gets into any of that stuff, we could have the conversation, but he's got to be like in an advisor role first or something like that. Thank you for the $5, Davis. To be clear, who is the group that needs to go? Keep up the good work. Angry or happy? I enjoy the show. Well, thank you, Davis. The group is pretty much anyone above age 30 on this team. The problem is that they extended the goaltender and they traded for JT Miller. So it's not going to happen. At minimum, Mika, Kreider, I, Trocheck, Laugh. Like two of those guys need to go at minimum. And this decor is just a fucking met. I don't know how you fix this, but that's the problem. Like they should have went in a different direction. That's the deeper issue here, which is why next year I'm taking a step back from this team and covering. Like I can't do this shit. I just can't. Do you see how fucking annoyed I am right now? Where is the light at the end of the tunnel here? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me, and maybe I'll change my mind. But I don't think there's a single thing that I could be told that will make me think, you know what? There's something good here. Yeah, you take trades on everyone right now on this team. Any player. Thank you. Thank you, Sharp. This is the point. Drury had the chance to do the right thing after trading Truba. Then he extended Igor, and we're back at square one. And JT Miller. He he cleared up cap space by moving like Truba, Heedle, all these players. Because there was a tweet about this earlier, just to spend more on the replacements. And the replacements are worse. Based on what could Mark Messier evaluate talent? Tell me. Tell me how he could evaluate talent. Based on what? Based on being a player 20 years ago, or more than that now? Like, no, man. Just no. Yeah, him analyzing play on TNT, which most of the time I'm rolling my eyes at because he has the most old school takes. I'd rather hire new blood. Thank you. This is the point. Yes, they need to bring in new blood. They can't keep going. They can't go down the retread route unless Sullivan is available. Like, there's no retreads that are worth getting. They need to hire someone new. And to be honest, even when they hire the coach, even if it's a guy that I want, I'm not even going to be thrilled. Mike Sullivan blows. What? What? Because Ken Holland's a moron. The way he left Detroit, no thanks. No thanks. Yeah. Um, sure. But again, like I said, if they did hire Knobloch, you could say it probably would have been the better choice, but I don't know what the fuck would have happened under him either because every single coach they quit on. They quit on every single one. I don't agree with this. I can't agree with the fact that the Penguins are worse because of Sullivan. Look at that roster right now, and the fact that they're even above teams in the East is impressive. That team has no business being like they were in the playoff hunt for longer than they should have with that roster. That they look at how many look at the freaking roster. I'm just reading it right now. Like their fourth highest point player was Eric Carlson with 53. That team is terrible. I can't blame Sullivan for anything going on in Pittsburgh, which is also why I don't think they are moving on from him and why they haven't moved on from him. Yeah. This is exactly it. Like the Penguins are bad because of age. It has nothing to do with Sullivan at all. And part of that's because of how much they've been over tinkering that roster and just getting older. Like it's just stupid what they're doing there. Like that what he's been dealt with in Pittsburgh, the fact that some of those teams, like even what was it, 2021-22, they made the playoffs, right? Like, or wasn't there a year did they make it the year after? Forgetting. Maybe they didn't, but I mean, just some of these bubble teams even, just looking at the rosters, they had no business making the playoffs with some of these teams. Yeah, like, it's nobody but Sid right now, and that team is still finishing with 76 points. Like, if the Rangers lost tonight, there was a world where Pittsburgh finished above them in the standings. This is exactly it. Hextall's the one that has fucked it up. Yeah, no, alright, I that's what I thought, yeah. And this I agree with. I mean, if you want Drury fired for Mark Messier, I don't get that one. What would it take for Drury to lose his job? If they miss the playoffs next year, I think there's a world, but even then, I don't know anymore. I really don't. I mean, yeah, you could argue this too. I've said that for a bit too. Who's gonna want to coach here with this group? If Messier becomes GM, Panarin is getting traded for Pat Maroon after he retires. Yeah, pretty much. Why do I think they would fire Drury just based on reports that we're hearing about how Dolan loves Drury? I don't get why, but he does. Yeah, and when a lot of it's because Crosby misses games at points too. That's part of why that team has been struggling. Because when he's out, and even then they still contend to at least a decent amount because of how Sullivan is as a coach. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up here because this is a rant that could go on for a while. I'm gonna save the ammo a bit for the next live stream. Hopefully. when they're eliminated and done. So then we can just, call it here. But thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, turn on your notifications if so you know when I upload or go live. I'll see you guys in the next one.